countdown.
I know. There you go. Hey, everybody. Coming soon podcast here. Spider, along with Braxton Smith on the bottom, and Adrienne Elder. How are you?
I'm doing really well, guys. Thanks for having me on.
No, by all means. I mean, we appreciate your time. And Braxton, I mean, of course, I don't want to leave him out, but the guys in Austin, of course, we're doing this mobile. But as far as the event, tell us the name of the event and the date, please.
Sure. So our event is the ScareFest. We're a horror and paranormal convention in Central Kentucky, up in Lexington, and this is our 15th show. So we've been around for a bit now.
And of course, I mean, and I saw the number on there, and I was going to say, I mean, the event, I mean, this is the event's first venue. I mean, have you worked on other projects besides this?
So I've been with ScareFest since the beginning. I've been doing ScareFest for 16 years now. So I started at our very first volunteer meeting ever when I was 17. And I was a volunteer for several years. And then I started doing like a stars liaison kind of thing, I guess. When we would book celebrities, I would help book their flights, get their hotel rooms,
Nice.
transport. And then when they were at the show, we would make sure they had coffee, food, water, Sharpies, got to their photo ops and panels. And then back in 2019, I took over being the event director. So I've been doing that for a few years now.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You were born to do this.
Right. Exactly. It's
Yeah.
like my baby. I don't have children, so ScareFest is my baby.
ScareFest is your baby. Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed.
You
Even
see
if you
any-
had children, ScareFest would still be your baby.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. It would be my firstborn. Even if I had a kid today, they would have to,
Yeah, I tell my daughter all the time. I have a horror movie collection as well. I like yours in the background.
Oh,
there.
thank you.
And she's always, messing with them, and I tell her, I say, hey, that's the only thing I love more than you. So put my movies down. she's 2 years old. She's like, what? Looking like I'm just going to destroy them more now.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's our competition. My dad used to always say that to me about his truck. He would say,
Oh, wow.
yeah, I can replace you. I can have another daughter, but I can't get the same truck.
Man, and I gotta ask because I mean, me and Braxton just started this, but the fact that you've been doing this for going on 15 years, 16 years. I mean, I always use the term "late to the party." I mean, we've been fans for years, but it just seems like this
On
year.
mainstream, I would say on mainstream we have, but we've been watching. I've been watching horror movies since I was 5. I know Spider's been watching for a while, but we're trying to, get on your level. So.
Yeah. No.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, hey, look. Horror is unlike anything else. And if people are watching this and you've been to a fan convention before, whether that be any kind of event that's hosted, and, wrestling here is really popular. You might get some different, fighting. You've got Comic Cons, you've got all sorts of things that you can go to. And the energy at a horror convention is different than an energy that I've ever experienced at any other type of event. It's really wholesome. You would think with all the gore and sex and craziness that goes on in horror movies that we would just be like these degenerates or something, but the horror community is one of the most accepting, wonderful group of people you could ever hope to spend time around.
No, for sure.
I've seen that as well.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
it's an experience. So, I know there's a lot of great shows down in Texas. There's horror shows coming up all over the place now. It's kind of getting more mainstream, I guess you might say, to use your all's word. So, yeah, if you ever have an opportunity, even if it's not our show, you should check one out because they're really great.
No, yeah. I mean, we've been hitting them up since in October. We started last year. And like I said, we came from combat sports, but being fans of horror, for years. But yeah, that's one of the things me and Braxton have always said, going to these events, it's relaxing, it's our therapy. So we go out there and we can actually walk around among ourselves, and people are on our own level when it comes to horror. But it has been fun. We've already, I've got some autographs, I've been a fan, so I've been getting autographs and getting interviews with the actors out there while I'm out there.
Cool.
But I'll start off this with my first question. When it comes to the event, I mean, obviously over the years, I mean, you guys have rekindled a lot of friendship, made a lot of friends. So is it kind of easier to kind of be like, hey, you know what, come to this event on this time, or are you guys still struggling with bringing guests?
Oh, so that's a really great question. One of the things that I've actually talked about in a couple of interviews, like last year that I did, people have asked similar questions. And when ScareFest first started, again, I was really young, but as soon as I graduated high school, I started working in downtown Lexington. And every afternoon after work, I would go to the owner of the convention's house and I would help her with admin work. We would email people, and, back then probably fax was still a thing. So back at the beginning, it was a struggle, trying to track people down. And today, social media and the internet, it keeps everyone, like, the world is huge, but also you can be so close to someone that way. So, tracking people down, it's not really a thing anymore because of how big our show is. We get approached a lot.
Nice.
This year, because it's our 15th year, we'll have about 70 celebrity guests at the show. And I have probably been approached by either reps or, people themselves. You work with people over the years and you end up with good relationships. Probably close to 400 people, have asked to do our show this year. And we just, even if we didn't have vendors at the show, we still wouldn't have enough for 400 booths because our center is only 100,000 square feet. But it definitely, we're getting names like this year. We'll have David Arquette for the first time. We've got Tyler Labine, first time. We've got some big folks that haven't ever done our show before. And a lot of that is definitely, because of the size of the show, it growing, and folks having really great experiences in the past years, and they talk to each other, and so we're really proud of, everyone that's built the show up into what it is, to where, we have people coming to us now. We don't really have to go and, knock on people's doors anymore.
Nice.
No. But you see, I was gonna say that's a lot of Sharpies compared to when you started, right? I mean, now you got to get
so many Sharpies. I have a tower right here next to me, and I just have cases and cases.
Oh yeah, you're ready.
Of Sharpies. So yeah, no, you're right. Exactly, it's a lot.
No, and of course, I mean, having that many people, I'm pretty sure the staff has grown. So I mean, how do you guys go about getting people ready? I mean, do you guys ask for volunteers, or is there people that you guys have worked with already as far as the company?
Yeah, so some of our volunteers there's a few of us that have been there since the very beginning. So 16 years, and we actually, the last couple of years, we do like a trophy ceremony for people that hit milestones like 10 years, 15 years, things like that. We have about, right now, I think we've got about 190 volunteers. And so at ScareFest at the show, if you see a volunteer, they're called the staff, and it's not STAFF, it's STAPH, because we want to infect you with ScareFest. So it's staff like infection. And we do have meetings all throughout the year. So we take our applications, and then a lot of the folks that work on the show, we're ScareFest family. Like, it's not just, something they come and do for a weekend. We stay connected with each other throughout the year. We do birthday parties, baby showers. We celebrate like some holidays together. A lot of us do. So we stay pretty close. Yeah.
No, you see, and I think we lost Braxton. I'll see if he just jumps back in. Probably. But I was gonna say, I mean, having worked that close to somebody, I mean, you can't but build a relationship, right? I mean, they're like family now, and
yes, absolutely. I mean, especially the folks that I've been doing this show with for 16 years. I mean, we all talk very regularly. The people that have been doing the show for 16 years with me, I've talked to every one of them this week alone. Like I said, we all but two of them, I think, were at a surprise birthday party I threw last weekend. Like, it really is. We do we stay connected with each other. We have a private group on Facebook.
Yeah.
So if we really need to quickly get out to everyone, that's been there a while or that's new, it's pretty easy for us to do that way too.
No, of course. I'm gonna post this up real quick just so people can see it.
Sure.
And of course, this is the flyer that you guys have on your social media page. But it is October 20th to 22nd, and I mean, I can only imagine because you mentioned how many guests you're gonna have on this one, and that's a lot of people. I mean, I can only imagine. It's gonna be like you're gonna need the whole weekend to go and meet everybody, right?
Really, yes, and that's something that we've been going over and over is the size of the show this year, because like I was saying earlier, the feeling you get at a horror show is really special, and a lot of that normally is because of they're almost always a smaller show than something you might see at like a Comic-Con or something like that.
Right.
But ScareFest is getting pretty big, so we're trying to do some things that, even though it will be a big show, there's going to be, you can't do everything, obviously. We do have things going on continuously throughout the weekend. So you don't just walk in and like walk past the vendor booths, go see your celebrities, and then, that's all really there is to do. We have a film festival, an indie film festival that goes on all 3 days. We have a speaker room, and we have actually already finished all of our speaker signups for the year, but there will be speakers, and it's a wide range of topics because we are horror and paranormal. You may even get some like UFO or cryptid, like Bigfoot, speakers sometimes. We have a big panel room, and we're doing a classroom this year. Actually, just before we came on tonight, finalized some details of offering a special effects class this year.
Oh, nice.
Because we'll have Tom Savini there, and we'll have Greg Nicotero there, and we have the Indie Film Festival. There's a lot of people that will be interested in like, what's a cheap, cool way to do some awesome special effects. So that's something that'll be there. It's a lot.
No, you see, and that's actually pretty cool because, like I mentioned earlier, Braxton and myself, I mean, him being a pro fighter, I mean, I've been covering, combat sports for over 16 years, and being stateside and working with fighters on the UFC level, the Bellator, all these different promotions. There's always outlets for them to make money. So every time there's a fight, they always bring fighters, and I always set up seminars and so it makes sense because everybody's going to be there, so put them to work, right?
Yeah, that's a really great point. Yeah, I didn't even think of it that way, but yeah, you're exactly right.
Yeah, but I mean, I can only imagine. I mean, because 16 years, like you said, I mean, having done this, I mean. Are you guys venturing into anything else when it comes to promotion? I mean, obviously, you say you've worked with getting the guests ready, as far as at the convention. But are you guys like doing like y'all's own film? Are you guys doing y'all's own brand of product?
Well, so we had talked about expanding a little bit before COVID, and then COVID happened.
Oh yeah.
And then we had a slow start coming back from COVID, in 2021. And then last year was an amazing year for the show. Yeah. And we were thinking about expanding, and maybe not so much into something different, but maybe doing a second show, doing a spring show, because we always have ScareFest in the fall. It's always in Lexington, Kentucky every year, same place, around the same time. So we thought about doing a smaller spring show, either in Lexington or maybe moving, to another state or something like that. We have been considering the idea of talking to a crew that works on documentaries about, filming kind of like the making of one of these shows.
Nice.
Because it's very neat. It is.
Yeah. No, you see, and I was just going to say, and I was going to mention this earlier, but I was going to say, has there ever been a horror movie based on the promotion, like on an event?
No, but so I was talking to someone about this last year, because how funny, like my dad's been trying to get me to do this for the last 2 years. Bring someone in and film a movie during ScareFest.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yes.
Because okay, you have 40 people there on any given day dressed up.
The extras.
Right. And like if somebody was really going around murking people, it'd be like a Scooby-Doo episode. You'd really have to, try to sort through all the gore to figure out who it is. But you know, during the show, a lot of times doing, you know, interviews and stuff like this, it's hard to really talk about everything.
Oh yeah, they'll take ideas and run with them.
No, it just there's so much going on.
Oh, okay,
It's hard to talk. And if there are other smaller shows, you know, if somebody is wanting to do a show and they're watching this and they're looking for ideas, absolutely. You know, as far as the horror community as a whole, if there's something I can say to bring, you know, something great for someone else, that's totally cool.
Nice, I like that.
But during the show last year, we had this really great artist. He comes every year. His name is Terrence Muncie. He's up in Indiana, and he did these trading cards. And I don't have any right here with me. I wish I would have thought about this, or I would have showed you guys some. So he did these limited, and they're like baseball sized cards.
Right.
And we put them all over the convention. And if you collected all of the cards, you got a special poster, and you get to keep all the cards too. And they're all like, he'll do them, like 20 of them will be like the celebrities that are going to be there. Yeah. And then 5 of them might be a special vendor card. He did a card of me last year, like looking like a vampire, and it was so sick. And everybody was like, "Oh, how do I get one?" But that goes on throughout the weekend. And then we also have another gentleman who created a game. It's called Killers, the card game. And you basically, when you go, you sign up and you get to be like one of 3 roles. And other people are like trying to find you, and you're trying to find other people during the show. So it's like an interactive game with strangers, basically.
That's cool though. I like that.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, and there's something neat for everybody. Yeah, definitely.
You see, and that's one the reason I brought up the whole filming a movie was because we're actually venturing into. We're going to be doing a couple of reels, no movie parts, but we're actually going to be acting in our own little. And we're going to start doing that. Like I was like, man, like you know what? Let's just, as long as we can get permission from the venue, or just you know, we can get in there and just start filming clips and you know, putting them together later. But I just thought that was cool because I was like, man, I mean, how many people would want to be in the movie or wouldn't be? I always tell everybody, I'll be the guy that dies first. I'll be the janitor in the back mopping. You know, I don't care. I just want to be on it. You know, and but I just thought that'd be cool, and especially with something that big, I was like, man, that'd be perfect. I mean, how cool would that be to tell everybody, hey, we're gonna film, everybody start running, or everybody start yelling, or nothing, no accidents, of course, but just react to something, and I mean, the power is there, so why not, man? That's actually
really cool. Yeah, definitely. I mean, organizing something like that, because there's a lot of different things that go on, during the day, and sometimes I want somebody to come and do a flash mob, like just start dancing. But like, I don't want to do it because I want to be surprised too, and I can dance. But I want somebody to come and like do a legit flash mob at the show. We did last year. We do Kids Day every year on Sunday. It's Kids Day, and last year they taught them how to do the Thriller dance.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Michael Jackson's Thriller, because Lexington downtown has a huge Thriller parade every year, the weekend before Halloween. Wow. So all the kids that came and learned how to do Thriller could go and be in the parade.
Wow. You see, it's funny you say that, because like years ago, I mean, I have 2 kids, right? And when they were, I would say like 5 and 8, we were at the Fiesta Texas, here during Halloween. And like, I kid you not, my kids, like growing up, they were goofy as heck, man. I mean, I love them, right? I still do. But the song Thriller came out, and they both literally like start dancing, and like people are watching, and I'm just like behind them, kind of, I was laughing because I was just like really. And so because they start doing that, other people started doing it, and everybody started. I was thinking like, dude, how funny is that if they would have started a flash mob and everybody would have just, but they were innocent like that, so they didn't have any shame, they would just do whatever, and I was cool with it.
That is amazing. I love that so much. That's super cool.
And of course, like you said, I mean, now you are the head of the company. I mean, how did that happen?
So let's see. I was kind of on the track to, like I said, in the beginning, I was doing like admin stuff with the owner. And I ended up taking a job at a manufacturing plant. I actually worked for Toyota, like building Camrys.
Oh man.
Yeah. And, like when you start there, it's, I was second shift, which sucks for a social life because it's
Oh yeah.
5 p.m. to 3 a.m.
Your whole day.
Yes. And when you start as a temp and you're at the bottom of the barrel, I only got 5 days off my first whole year.
Damn.
3 of those I took for ScareFest. So, working at the factory and like, just I bought a house when I was 19. I started working at the factory. I was trying to like be a, responsible adult
Right.
and like make money. So I kind of got, away from the planning of, and more so started with just helping closer to the event when I could, during the day, on the weekends, if we didn't have to work. And then of course, during the weekend. And, as time went on and I realized how much factory work sucks and, I love ScareFest and I'm really good at talking to people and, bringing things together. And, ScareFest got sold to a new couple and, we instantly, like, we clicked really well, but I was still in this other job. So about 2 years after they bought it, I was in a place where I could leave the factory and start doing ScareFest full time. So that's what happened.
Yeah, that was pretty cool though, because I mean, I know, I worked at the post office, 15 years, and like 8 years of that time, I was on the second shift.
Yes.
And they used to bring us in 2 hours early and keep us 2 hours late. So that was like from 2 to 2. So we had no social life, and I was miserable. I ain't gonna lie. It was just like the pits because everybody's, my kids' birthdays, my cousins invited me to barbecues, and I'm like, I gotta go to work.
You can't go, or you can show up for a couple of minutes
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
off to work.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times like I would get out of work at like 4 a.m. on Saturday morning, and I would either drive straight to like 1 year my family was doing a vacation in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. It's like 3.5 hours away. So I got out of work. I drove straight there. I got there as they were waking up for breakfast.
Yeah.
We went and spent the whole day out together. So, you're up for 2 days straight.
Yeah.
Or get out of work and go and jump on a plane and fly off to wherever they are, and you're not sleeping, but and everyone's like, well, come over, it's just 10 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, your 10 o'clock is like 3 a.m. your time.
Yeah. No, yeah.
It's rough.
And like I left the post office like 6 years ago, and I actually became a contractor, and I started working for myself. And I liked it because I was able to control my hours, my time, and my kids. My oldest was in sports, so it's like I started going to her games, and no regrets, man. I was just like, you know what, like y'all can have it. I'm good, and no looking back.
And I know this may seem like we're kind of off topic, but for anyone that's listening right now, I just made a post about this on social media like a week ago. When I left my factory job, and it sounds like when you left, your job. There's a point to where your mental health, and that's all encompassing your family life, your dreams, things you want to do. Obviously, for a lot of us, like money is important. Most people require, a house to come home to and a car to drive, but money is not the end all be all. And if you're suffering with your mental health because of your job, you should try to get an exit strategy in place too.
Yeah.
Because when I left the factory and I went, ScareFest is not corporate owned. We're not sponsored by anybody. ScareFest has to pay for itself.
Yeah.
So you don't make a lot of money doing shows, doing fan conventions. So it was a big adjustment, but worth it. And I would do it 10 times over again. So if you're looking for a sign to get out of a toxic job, we're your sign.
No, you see, and there's this quote that I hear and always repeat, and it says, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I'm a firm believer. I'm like, you know what? I mean, I run into people from the post office, and they're like, man, you don't want to come back. I'm like, nah, man, I'm good. Like I was miserable. I wasn't happy. And I'm like, you know what? I mean, I have peace of mind, and I'm able to do what I want and, schedule my time, but for sure. But of course, I mean, we did go off topic, but I mean, that was, it allows us to do what we do now, Oh, yeah, definitely. We'll do another podcast just on that alone, But
Life coaching.
I know. But of course, this event, I mean, we're going to go ahead and put the poster up real quick. I mean, some of the guests that are already on there, I mean, there's a lot, of course, that are going to be on there, but who are some of the people right off the bat that everybody can, show up and visit?
So our biggest lineups that we're doing this year, if you've had a chance to check out Terrifier 2, we've got 10 people from Terrifier 2.
All that.
We've got David Howard Thornton, Damian Leone. We've got Casey, Kaylee, Sarah. We've got Amelie, who played the little pale girl. We've got Lauren Lavera, Elliot Fulham. We've got Felissa Rose. She is amazing. I love Felissa. And then we've got Rick Stasinski, selfie guy. And Rick also makes some really cool masks. And if you ever see this and I butchered your last name, I'm sorry. I've never heard it said out loud, just seen on spelling on the computer. But so Terrifier 2 is a big one. We're going to have a panel. We're going to have in costume photo ops with Art the Clown, the Pale Girl. Lauren and Elliot are going to be in costume. Nice. Then we have a group picture with everyone. That's a big one. We're doing a Day of the Dead reunion this year. We're doing a Jaws reunion with Richard Dreyfuss. We've got Susan, Jeffrey, and Jeffrey along with Richard, and we're going to be offering a super cool photo op for this one. We haven't posted it yet, but a friend of mine, a really talented guy, he owns a shop here in Kentucky. It's called Blackgate Studios. He made a life-size Jaws head that you can stand in it. Like 4 people can stand in this thing's mouth. So we're going to use that for photo ops this year. He built the whole thing out of yoga mats. Welcome back.
You're late to the party, man.
Yeah, I'm so sorry about that, guys.
No, we're ready to wrap it up, bro. But of course, I mean, she was just telling us as far as the surprise that they're gonna have. It's basically they're building a life-size jaw face, like the Jaws. So they're gonna do like a photo op for this is for everybody, as far as the guests or just whoever can get in there.
What we do, so we actually built it 2 years ago, and we had it at ScareFest before, but we didn't have Richard Dreyfuss there. So we're going to be offering this with professional photo ops this year. And so that'll be really neat. And then we've got, right now we have announced 6 of the final girls from the Friday 13th franchise. So we've got Adrienne King, Kimberly Beck, Jensen Daggett, Melanie Kinnaman, Laura Park Lincoln. I'm forgetting one girl, Kim, Dana. Oh, well, we're trying to get Dana too. So we're planning on having 7 of the 8 final girls from the Friday 13th movies. So that's a really big one. And we've got House of a Thousand Corpses has a reunion year this year. So we'll be bringing those guys. Of course, we got Tyler Labine from Tucker and Dale versus Evil. That's awesome.
I'm sorry, when is this event again?
October 20th through the 22nd. You got to be here in Lexington,
Kentucky. I was gonna say we might have to, because that's like a whole 3-day weekend, bro. You're not
I was playing, just hearing her talk. I was like, man, because I'm from Alabama, so I've heard about your guys' convention. I'm born and raised. I'm a Bama boy, but I was thinking maybe next year for sure. Yeah. But now just hearing her talk, man, we got to get out of there this year. We got to go this year.
Definitely. I mean, that's.
I was going to say, we just announced, I see a Chucky poster back there. We've announced Fiona. Fiona Dorff is going to be there. I see Michael Myers, maybe. We have announced Nick Castle. We have announced James Jude Courtney. We've got Sandy Johnson from Halloween. Who else y'all got back there? We got some Pinhead. There is a small possibility, guys. You may be seeing a spiky Pinhead announcement sometime in the future. Not unconfirmed, but I have been discussing with Mr. Doug Bradley about maybe attending the show. We've announced some American Horror Story, Dylan McDermott, Dennis O'Hare. The Walking Dead. We've got Emily Kinney from The Walking Dead, Chad Coleman, Greg Nicotero.
Man, you talking about an all-star lineup.
Everybody, bro.
It's going to be, and I don't know, for some of the younger folks watching here, Ice Nine Kills lead man Spencer Charnas is going to be there. I know he's very popular, you know, for his music, but also because he's gorgeous. But we've got just man, it's a lot, and we're still not done with our announcements. We've got more announcements coming tomorrow.
You got me sold on just the ones you told.
We
a lot of good people around.
Listen,
my like just listening to you talk, my ghost face, his mouth is like wide open. He can't. He can't believe it. He can't believe it. He can't believe it.
The voice of Ghostface, Roger L. Jackson, he'll be there. You know, and I don't know if you all knew this, but the guy who voiced Ghostface also was the voice of Mojo Jojo from the Powerpuff Girls.
Wow, I had no idea.
Jojo.
But yeah, you all can get you know, free weekend passes, so you have no excuse not to be there.
Man, I appreciate that.
I'm going to give you all some passes to give away to your listeners too.
No, I appreciate it.
That is amazing. We appreciate it.
Man, I know Braxton fell off for a bit. I mean, we're gonna wrap it up, but man, Braxton, you have anything else you want to say before we end this, bro?
I love you for the free passes. You know,
no problem.
No, but just we really appreciate you coming on. Sorry, I had an emergency. I couldn't.
Oh, no worries at all.
I'll go back and watch it, but we just really appreciate you. You know,
that's about. See, really, I want you all to come up so you can work security. That's not really.
There
for
you
me.
go. There you go. Put them to work.
Man, I gotta lose some weight, man. I knew I gotta start looking like everybody else in the horror world, man. This big black guy, and we need you to come guard the door, bro. Come on.
Yeah.
We need you to come and just like walk around like in Ready to Rumble. Like,
there you go. Ready to go, man.
That's a classic movie.
Exactly.
Well, of course, Adrienne, we appreciate you for jumping on this. I mean, there was a lot of great input that you gave us. I mean, I'm looking forward to the event. If definitely we can't make it out there, by all means, we'll be there.
Yeah,
and I want to thank you. But anything you want to say yourself before we wrap this up?
No, just, you know, we really appreciate, you know, you all having us, me and all of my friends on. If anyone is listening and they're interested in coming to ScareFest, you can visit us on Facebook, Instagram. Our website is ScareFestWeekend.com. And yeah, there's so much more information than I could ever cover in one of these. So jump on our Facebook page. You can @ me. I'm Adrienne Elder on Facebook. If you all have any questions at all.
Not a problem. Well, I mean, maybe we'll try and bring you back before the event.
Yeah, we definitely will. If you have time, sure.
We'll talk about some more creepy, scary stuff. Some of our like favorite horror movies.
Oh yeah, there's plenty out there. But of course, we want to thank you once again. Everybody out there, of course, make sure and follow up. It's going to be a great weekend. It's stacked. I mean, you definitely threw some great names out there. And for those close by, of course, in Kentucky, right? I mean, this is going to happen out there. And you sit in the center?
Yeah. If you're in Alabama, get out there. Go see it. Kentucky's right up the road.
Yeah, we're right up the road a piece, guys. Right up the road. Just over the holler. Follow the creek. Down, take a left at the old oak tree.
There you go.
Over Ichabod Crane's Bridge.
Exactly.
Man, for everybody out there, of course, stay tuned once again. Thank you, Adrienne. Braxton, we'll talk again. Till next time. Follow up.
Later.
See ya.